Welcome to today's episode of the J&J podcast. I'm Jamie,
This is Jameson.
and we want to welcome all of our listeners in. Today's podcast is really going to be focused on the NBA playoffs. It's the NBA playoffs edition. And Jameson, why don't you kick us off with what's happening in the Eastern Conference? First up is the Cavs versus Heat. Tell me your thoughts about that series thus far.
Cavs are currently up 1-0 right now. They took game one in a pretty dominant fashion. Um, and here's what I'm going to go ahead and preface this by saying, I might give the Heat one game, but I would not be shocked if the Cavaliers end up sweeping the Miami Heat. It's just they have too much offensive firepower between Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, and then I'm telling you, like we talked about it on the last episode, the them being able to pick up DeAndre Hunter at this year's trade deadline, which is huge for that team. It just gives them versatility not only on offense but on defense. At that wing spot. And here's what I'll just say going forward is just I really trust Kenny Atkinson, man, to continue to make the adjustments that are necessary to continue to win playoff games. And it's no knock to the Heat and their exposure. It's just they really don't have that one guy that can go get you a bucket. It's just like Tyler Hero is that guy most nights for that team, and Bam Adebayo has shown flashes of being able to be that guy, but it's like they don't have a Jimmy Butler or a Dwayne Wade or a player of that magnitude or like a LeBron James, some of those all-star, superstar players that you've had in the past, they just don't have that on this current roster, and it's just going to be honestly too much to handle in my opinion. So honestly, I have the Cavs sweeping them, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Heat maybe take one of the games at home. But yeah, Cavs in 4 is my prediction.
Well, we're pretty much in agreement.
Yeah,
I agree with almost everything. I do believe the Heat will get one game, and it's simply because they play gritty basketball.
yeah,
Eric Spoelstra will make an adjustment, but they're outgunned, they're outmanned. To be perfectly honest,
hmm
um, Tyler Hero is your go-to guy, and it's no knock on him, but Tyler Hero is going to be your go-to, and that's how you're going to depend on winning games. I'm sorry, I don't see it happening. So I've got Cavs over the Heat, but I have them in 5 games.
yes,
I have
sir.
them winning. I have the Heat winning at least one game. So next is the Pacers versus Bucks, and I do know that Dame is actually going to be back tonight.
Yeah,
So tell me your thoughts on that one. I feel pretty strongly about this one,
yeah.
and it's probably not what a lot of people think. Um, but tell me what your thoughts are on this one.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, and it's like I'm very happy for Dame. It's just honestly, it's incredible how far medicine and stuff has come. It's like to literally go from having a blood clot a month ago to being able to play in the actual playoff game less than a month later. It's just absolutely incredible. So huge shout out to like their medical staff, whoever he's been working with down there in Milwaukee. But here's what I'm gonna say for the Bucks. It's a must win game for them tonight. Because what people got to realize is it's like if you go down 2-0 to a team like the Indiana Pacers with the style of basketball that they play, it's just I don't see the Bucks coming back. And honestly, I'm glad Dame is coming back this game, but part of me is like it could honestly mess up the flow of their offense and some of their rotations. It's no knock on Dame. It's like Dame is an all-star player. It's just when you're used to having a rotation without a guy now for almost a little bit over a month to now trying to incorporate him back into the offense and in the lineup in the rotation in the middle of a playoff series, especially against a team that's been proven to be better than you throughout the regular season. It's just that's kind of a recipe for disaster. So my prediction still stands. I still have the Pacers winning this series probably around I'm thinking either 5 or 6 games, but tonight is definitely a must win for the Bucks. If they lose this game, they might end up getting swept. Quiet is kept. No
Well, we're
bars. Yeah,
we're on the same page. First of all, I hope Dame is really okay. I
yeah.
mean, I don't think they would put him out there if he didn't get
I
a
would hope
full,
not.
a clean bill of health. But I don't feel good about that.
Yeah,
That's just an instinct. But I do believe that because of the pace of play for the Pacers, to your point, pun intended, um, the pace that they play at is going to overwhelm the Bucks.
I
I
agree.
honestly think that overall that it could go 6. I wouldn't be surprised if it went 5. To be
Yeah,
perfectly honest,
yes, sir.
um, because if they don't win tonight, like you said, if they don't win tonight, I really do see it maybe going only 5 games.
Yeah.
Um, so I just think that Miles Turner has come into his own. I mean, we've seen it over the last couple of years, but this year you can see a noticeable difference.
Nimhard
Um,
even like there. It's not even the
yes,
guys like Halliburton and Pascal Siakam. It's like it's the Nimhards, the T.J. McConnells of the world that are like really just putting their imprint on the game. I mean, it was evident in game one. It's like Halliburton didn't even have that good of a game, nor did Pascal Siakam, and they still won by 20. So it's like
yes,
it's the Pacers. It's their style of play. And Rick Carlisle's a fantastic coach as well. He has a ton of playoff experience. So
and
I
they'll
give
run
him
you
the
out of the
edge.
gym.
They will.
They literally run you out of the gym. It reminds me of, and of course it's the NBA, but it reminds me of some of the old. Our listeners know we're Carolina homers, but it reminds me of some of those teams where Ty Lawson was running the point. Halliburton is not Ty Lawson, obviously. But I'm just saying, as fast, get the ball up the court
Yeah.
really quick. Kendall Marshall, another example, might be a better example,
Yeah.
although Halliburton is a better shooter. Um, Not by much though.
They
Um,
just push the
they
pace, and
push
it's
the
like
pace,
they don't even have to play that good a defense. They're just gonna outwork you. Like
outscore you.
they're just gonna
Yes,
outscore you, and then it's like they're gonna
and
tire you
outrun you.
out. Like
Yes,
that's the
exactly.
thing. You can't really get into a half court offense against them because it's like they force turnovers and they get out in
Yep,
transition. Like you look up, you're down 15 in 3 4
absolutely.
minutes of actual gameplay. So it's it's insane. I like you said,
Yeah,
I have the Pacers beating the Bucks, unfortunately, because I love Giannis, but and like I said on the last podcast episode, if they lose, especially if they lose in 4 or 5 games, he's got to get up out of Milwaukee. I'm sorry, because it's
I would
just
agree.
that it's rough.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Hmm.
Um, so next on out of the East, it's the Knicks and the Pistons.
That
I know
K
you have some
monster.
strong opinion. I know you have some strong opinions about this one. So yeah, let's hear your thoughts on this one.
Here's what I'm gonna say, and I said it before, on last episode. And of course, game one, the Pistons, they're still a young playoff team. It's their first playoff game in years. And it's honestly the first playoff game for Cade, a lot of players on that team. But they were literally up 15, 20 points in game one against the Knicks. They ended up blowing that lead. And what did I tell you, Dad? I said, if they're going to have a chance to win this series, I said, Cade needs to average at least 25 plus a game. Like game one, I think he had like 17, 18 points, and the leading scorers were Tobias Harris and Malik Beasley. I'm like, that ain't gonna beat the New York Knicks. Especially, I think Brunson had like 33, 34 game one. But you saw what he did last night. 33 points, was very aggressive on offense. Picked his
Hmm.
spots, was able to get to the basket, and then he was also knocking down the outside shot. It's like at Cade's size, whenever he's knocking down the outside shot, whether it be the mid range or of course the three ball, he's virtually unstoppable in my opinion. And it showed last night. And here's what I'm gonna say for the Knicks. It's evident on all the Tom Thibodeau teams. They look tired to me. It's like
Hmm.
it's only game two of the series, and down the stretch, it's like that game was close, but really, it's just the Pistons look to be more in shape. I'm not saying that Karl Anthony Towns and Brunson, some of them aren't in shape. It's just Tom Thibodeau plays dudes 75 minutes a game. It's like there's no rest. Like even
Yep.
last and part of one thing people got to realize too is like they're still slowly working Jalen Brunson back. Jalen Brunson missed over like it was like a month and a half, to end off the season. So it's like trying to incorporate your best player back into the offense. He's not going to have the same win. They're not going to be able to play at the same pace. It's like that was very evident last night. And you see what Detroit is like. They're hungry. Like Detroit plays a similar style to the Pacers. They're just more focused on the defensive side of the basketball. But it's like they also try to get out and run because they have so many athletic young guys on that team. So like I said, my prediction last week was that the Pistons are going to win this series, and I think if Cade Cunningham can continue to play like he did last night, they'll still win this series, no doubt in my mind.
Well, I think it was pivotal that they won last night's game.
Facts,
I
because
think
now they're
they
going to Detroit.
Yes, they. I honestly going into game two because they were up by so many
Yeah,
and they had a chance to win that first one. I honestly thought they were going to lose last night.
same.
I did not expect them to win, and I thought if they go down 2-0 headed to Detroit, they're not going to win this series. I
Facts.
now give them a slight edge because they showed in game one that they could play with them and they could actually beat them, but they faltered down the stretch.
Yeah. They turned
For
the
them to
ball
come
over
back,
22 times. That's not going to win a playoff
yes,
game.
exactly. And for them to come back in game two, having lost the way that they actually lost,
Yeah.
and there being such a young team, I thought, yeah, if they don't win game two, they have no chance. It may
Facts.
even end up being a sweep, or they may get one. I now give them the edge. I give them a slight edge over the
Hmm.
Knicks. I think the other part of it is too that I have to really look at the veterans, Tobias Harris and Malik Beasley,
And Dennis
um,
Schroeder. That was a
and
huge
Schroeder.
addition for them.
Yes, but they've got to stay consistent. Like,
Facts.
you know, game one, Malik Beasley was over there shimmying, and then after that, he did absolutely nothing.
Facts. And they
Like
lost.
I think they go on a 22
They went on a
22 to
20-0 run after he did that shimmy after he hit that
yeah,
three in the third. I'm like, brother,
yeah.
like, come on, man.
Stop shimmying and play some defense. How about that? And Tobias Harris, stop being just mediocre. You're a veteran. You've been around teams now. You've done enough to know how to win. So it's time for you. He can't listen. A lot of folks will say if he's averaging 15, to be honest with you, he needs to average 20
Yeah.
so that Cade doesn't have to average 40.
And you got to be able to
Um,
stretch the floor because it's like when they have the Thompson twin out there on the court, it's like the floor is already shrunk some. You know what I'm
yes,
saying? It's
that's
like
right.
Malik Beasley and Tobias Harris have to be knocking down perimeter shots because if not, the Knicks are just going to clog the paint. And it's like Cade is not going to be as effective. And I'm telling you now, like we were talking about the other day, Jalen Duren, I love that brother, but he gonna have to develop some more offensive moves this offseason because I'm like,
Yes.
bro, you're too athletic, you're too gifted size wise, pause on that, to like only be putting up 6-7 points and just catching
Yes.
lobs at the basket. It's like you can be so much more than that as a player.
Yes. Work
And
on your game,
yeah,
brother.
but
Work
in
on your
spite of that,
game.
it's like to your point, if Malik Beasley, Tobias Harris, Dennis Schroeder, these guys keep giving them very productive minutes, it's like they can still win this series in spite of that, which is crazy.
Agreed.
And I love JB Bickerstaff. He has them playing with the edge. Like they didn't come into this series like thinking they were the underdog. It's like
No.
you can tell like they clearly came out as like we can compete with this team. They don't look
As
nervous at all.
no, they're playing as Jalen Rose would say, Detroit
Yep,
basketball. They're literally
they
playing.
are.
It's not quite bad boys,
Facts.
but they do have an edge to them, and they have an aggression to them, which I like, and
Yep.
they need that in the playoffs, especially against the Knicks.
Cause it's gotten chippy
Um,
already, like on numerous times. I'm like, we're only in game 2. Like Isaiah
yes,
Stewart, Josh Hart,
well,
like dudes getting into it. I love it.
Isaiah Stewart is a wrestler who plays
Yeah, he
basketball.
looks for it though. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like
that's
he's
yeah,
seeking contact in the physicality. So
absolutely.
yeah, but I love it
Yeah, me too. So we'll see how that plays out.
for sure.
Last in the Eastern Conference is the Celtics versus the Magic. Your thoughts on this one? I
I'm
mean,
a,
that's
I'm gonna be honest with you. I watched the game on Sunday, and I'm like, it's similar to what the Pistons did. The Magic were up 49-48 at halftime of game 1. It's like in the second half, it's like I think they forgot there was a second half of a basketball game. It's like this
hmm
they really came out lax. The Celtics really just kind of did whatever they want. But here's what I'm gonna say: if the Magic can come out and put together a complete basketball game, I think they can beat the Celtics any given night. And what people got to realize is too, they already listed Jason Tatum as questionable for game 2 tomorrow. So it's like if Jason Tatum doesn't play, I have the Magic winning game 2. And think about
I
it, you still won on the road. It's then going back to Orlando. Anything can happen.
I completely agree.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you something, and it's yes, I'm a Tar Heel homer, but Cole Anthony could be the
facts.
X factor in this series.
Him and Anthony
Um,
Black has to be aggressive on offense. It's
yeah,
like you
I need
remember we
for
talked
Anthony
about
Black
that.
to learn how to make a layup. I just
Facts.
really do.
But
I
there
know he's
was
got skills, and I know he can play, but man, he looked out of sorts on several plays,
facts.
and I just need for him to calm down a little bit.
Wendell Carter is going to be another big X factor. Because I'm like, if he can continue to give solid minutes, like he outplayed Porzingis in game 1. I'm like, if you
Oh
can
yeah,
keep that up throughout the remainder of this series, like I'm telling you, anything can happen. Paulo and Franz Wagner are good enough to compete with the Celtics. It's like because we know how Jason Tatum is. Jason Tatum's a superstar, but he'll have his stretches where he's the fourth option. You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
or same with Jaylen Brown. It's like their leading scorers in that game were Derek White. Derek White had 30. He carried him in the second half, him and Pritchard. It's like if that continues to happen and be a common theme, and Jason Tatum doesn't even play game 2, and Paulo and them come to hoop, I'm telling you, anything can happen.
I agree. I completely agree.
Yeah.
So, I would expect Jason Tatum to play, but if he doesn't, I definitely agree that
Yeah.
they can steal one in
And
Boston.
that's something to monitor
And
because it's his wrist injury. And I'm like,
yeah,
given the way he plays, a shooter, trying to get to the basket, I'm like, they probably don't want that to be a nagging thing.
no, not at all.
So
I
that'll
completely
be
agree.
interesting to continue to monitor as well, to your point.
Yes. So, all right. Well, shifting over to the West, which that's in my opinion, that's the conference to look at.
For sure.
Um, so first up is the Thunder versus the Grizzlies. I
Woo-wee!
mean, my God, what in the world? Like, did Memphis forget that it's playoff season? I mean, this isn't summer league.
The Thunder was
My God,
whooping that trick. No
boy, they
child.
whooped that trick. I mean, my goodness. I don't have a lot to say. Thunder in 5, Thunder in 4.
Here's what I'm gonna say. Um, because game 2 is tonight. If the
Hmm.
Grizzlies don't win this game tonight, they're getting swept. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Because I mean, this is not one of those things
Well,
where it's like,
I'm saying they're not going to win tonight.
yeah, I think
Thunder
it's
in
over.
4.
I
Yeah.
think it's Thunder at 4. I think they're getting swept. And here's
Yeah.
what I'm gonna say too, because this is no knock on Ja. I love Ja, but I think Ja honestly needs to explore trying to get up out of Memphis because Desmond
Yes.
Bain has regressed. They're see this is the Grizzlies' problem too. They're a good enough team to where they're going to make the playoffs and never get a good draft pick, but they're not good enough to beat these top tier teams. It's like they're going to
Agree.
continue to be borderline playing team or at best a 6 seed. That's their problem. And here's what's
That's
concerning
a
to me.
good
I'm
point.
like, Jaren Jackson, he was nowhere to be found in that game. And I'm like, bruh, like I saw numerous plays where like it was similar to some of the crap that Anthony Davis used to do that used to take us off. It's like you're 7 feet tall. Why are you not on the block? Why are you dribbling the ball out on the perimeter shooting threes? It's like
Because he
you're
wants to
literally,
be a guard.
yeah. It's
He's
like, bruh,
literally standing on the perimeter, not even trying to get
yeah.
his, as Shaq would say, his big behind down there and post somebody up.
I'm
Come
like,
on, man.
bruh, you're being guarded
7
by
feet
Isaiah
tall.
Hardenstein. Like, go to the basket, draw some fouls, like do something. It's like he was terrible, and it's like Ja could have. There wasn't, and I love Ja. There really wasn't much he could do in game 1. It's like he didn't really have it going, and then it got to a point where it's like nobody else could hit a shot. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
what was very eye opening for me from the Thunder perspective is just like as much as we want to talk about how poorly the Grizzlies played, it's like I gotta really just give credit to the Thunder. It's like Shea had probably the worst game I've seen him play in months, and they still won by 50. It's like my goodness, like the MVP of the league can have a 10-point half, like, and y'all still up 35 at halftime. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it was honestly scary, and I think what's
That's
scary for the
raps.
Thunder is just like their role players are probably the best in the across the league. It's like you have Alex Caruso, Isaiah Joe, Case and Wallace. You got these guys that are coming in. It's like Isaiah Joe can drop 15 to 20 a night off the bench. It's like they have Aaron Wiggins. They have so many weapons off the bench. It's ridiculous. And then what's scary is too. It's just like for Hartenstein's perspective, he's developed that little mid range floater that he shoots, and it's virtually unstoppable. I'm like, you got to deal with that and Chet, and then you still have J Dub. I'm like, bro, they're sweeping the Grizzlies. I'm sorry, it's
I
over.
I would agree. I have nothing to add.
Yeah.
That series to me is a wrap. Um, I'm serious. I have nothing to add.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Jameson, Nuggets versus Clippers. What are your thoughts? I know you got some thoughts about that Kawhi monster.
That Kawhi monster. Yeah, so last night we had talked about it. That was honestly the biggest game of the series, in my opinion, because it's like similar to the Pacers Bucks. It's like if the Clippers would have gone down 0-2, even going back to LA, that would have been tough. It's like it's hard to beat Denver 3 or 4 times in a row, just being honest. So huge win last night for the Clippers. And I hate to say this, it's like down the stretch, the refs almost wanted to give that game away to the Nuggets. So I'm really glad that the Clippers won that game. Some of the calls at the end were just flat out egregious. Like
They were.
it was bad. Like some of the calls they kept calling on Zubac against Jokic, I was like, bro, what are we doing? Like it was clear what was being done. I'll put it
Oh
that
yeah.
way. But yeah, I just got to give a shout out to Kawhi Leonard, man. And it's like I've always said this: Kawhi's a top 5 to 10 player when healthy in basketball. As simple as that. It's just because of what he does on both sides of the basketball. But the way he looked last night, I was like, that brother looked like Michael Jordan last night. 37 points on an efficient shooting split. It was like the brother flat out couldn't miss. And it was from everywhere. He was getting to the basket, his mid-range pull-up, post moves, the pull-up three, wide open threes. Just like the brother just couldn't miss. And I'll be honest, they needed it last night because James Harden had somewhat of a slower start. Norman Powell really had a huge second half, so huge shout out to him as well. But
But Zubac out of the game.
yeah, facts.
They absolutely did.
Yeah, and I'll say this: I still have the Clippers winning now. It's like you're now the series is tied 1-1. You're now going back to LA. It's just like Steve Ballmer gonna be there having those fans pumped. I really think the Clippers are gonna honestly win the next 2 games in a row. And it's like if they go up 3-1, I definitely don't see them losing to Denver. I feel like it would just be too much for Denver to have to overcome at that point. And a good time for the Clippers is Jamal Murray had an incredible game last night, and they were still able to gut it out and get the win. So I really feel good about the Clippers going forward. And like I always say, I really trust Ty Lue. He's one of those coaches that always makes the necessary adjustments come playoff time. So, yeah.
I agree. I really don't have a lot to add. I completely agree with you. I think that the Clippers, if the Clippers win the first game in LA, if they win that game, the next game in LA, I think they win the series.
I agree.
But I think they need to win that first game in LA.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
I completely agree.
So, all right, let's shift. I know you have a lot to say. I have a lot to say about it as well. Lakers versus Timberwolves, and we can certainly talk about our disappointment with how lackluster after the first quarter the Lakers played. I can pinpoint lots of folks in that game aside from Luka.
Facts.
But it was a putrid showing. It was pitiful. The way that they came out basically from the second quarter on. No defensive effort. Look, we've had real strong feelings about how Rui offensively has been playing, but this dude played absolutely no defense. He wasn't rebounding. He wasn't boxing out. I don't know what LeBron is thinking. I mean, maybe this was one of those Floyd Mayweather moments where he's,
it out.
Filling things out. But that was a terrible display. It was terrible.
They didn't decide to play basketball until the start of the third quarter, and it's like you can't do that in a playoff game. I don't care who you're playing.
So I'll say this, and then I want you to take it from here.
Yeah,
they started out in the first quarter because Luka came out like gangbusters.
That brother was hot.
And was hot, and we came out in the first quarter, and I was like, and it was almost like they were thinking, oh, we've already got a 12-point lead, we're gearing to blow them out. But they forgot that there's a second, third, and fourth quarter to play.
Facts. And they also forgot Anthony Edwards on the other side of the floor. So
thank you. Yeah. Exactly. Go ahead.
Nah, here's what I'll say. It's just like, and to your point, because I was kind of frustrated with LeBron. I'm like, why are you waiting until the third quarter to be aggressive on offense? But LeBron's arguably the best basketball player of all time. I've learned to not doubt LeBron come playoff time. And honestly, I'm going to just be candid with you. I expect for LeBron to be uber aggressive tonight on offense. Like, if LeBron doesn't get 30-plus points tonight, I would genuinely be shocked. I think he's going to come out ultra aggressive. And another player you didn't even mention that kind of was disappointing in game one as well was Austin Reeves. Because I'm like, when LeBron didn't have it going, that was your prime time to actually be that second option and help Luka out. It's like Luka had 40 points, and we still lost by double digits. That shouldn't happen. But I will say going forward, Jackson Hayes is also going to have to give us better minutes. It's like, you can't go in there, just foul dudes, and only play 6 minutes. It's like you were totally ineffective out on the court in game one. And to your point, Rui Hachimura and Dorian Finney-Smith, they're going to have to hit perimeter shots, including Gabe Vincent as well. It's like we already know Luka's going to get his, Austin Reeves, LeBron's going to get his. But I'm telling you, how we're going to be able to potentially make the Western Conference Finals is going to come down to those role players like Dorian Finney-Smith, Gabe Vincent, even Jordan Goodwin, it's like, bro, be confident with your shot. It's like you're gonna get looks, be able to knock them down and shoot them with confidence. You got to keep the defense honest, and that's what won the Timberwolves game. When it's like Anthony Edwards didn't have the craziest start, it was the Dante DiVincenzo's and the Nas Reeds of the world that won them that game, and to kill Alexander Walker, it's like that brother looked like Shea in game one against us. No troll. I know they're cousins. It's like I thought I was watching Shea.
Yeah.
So, but here's what I will say: why I'm not concerned. We don't have.
Well, I will
Darvin
be if we
Ham.
lose tonight.
Well, that's it. I'm telling you, we're not losing tonight.
Yeah, I don't think we are either.
But we don't have Darvin Ham anymore. No, not to him. It's just JJ Redick. I trust him to make the necessary. Like I promise you, JJ Redick has probably slept 4 hours since that playoff loss.
Probably.
Him. You know what I'm saying? Just straight film
Yeah.
study. So I'm not concerned about that in the slightest. It's like we have Luka Doncic and LeBron James. We're not losing games, so I can tell you that right now. I'm not concerned in the slightest.
Well, I listen. Here's what I will say, because earlier in the season, once we got Luka, and actually just before we got Luka,
Yeah.
how well Jackson Hayes was playing. I still think we're going to have to address a real big in the offseason.
Oh, we're gonna have to, no question.
We have to, because he is. It's basically the same argument that you had with Duran. Isn't that his name, Duran?
Yeah, there's no offensive game.
There's no offensive game. Like, how are you 7 feet and all you know how to do is dunk the basketball?
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
And I'm gonna be honest. The lineups where Rudy Gobert is not on the floor, Jackson Hayes should not be out there. It's like he hurts us. He messes up the spacing.
He does. He absolutely does.
Yeah.
Because then you get Gobert on an island. Gobert doesn't have to guard Jackson Hayes.
No.
Because he's not a threat offensively.
Yeah.
So I just I think that we're gonna have to definitely address that. I think that based on the matchups, Hayes can be, the lob threat, just like Derek Lively was before Luka left Dallas. But I think from an offensive standpoint, if he's not at least catching lobs, he doesn't need to be on the basketball court.
I completely agree.
So, all right, last one in the West. It's the Rockets versus the Warriors. I know you have some really strong opinions about this game.
Yeah, I picked the Rockets to win that series, and I'm still gonna rock out with the Rockets. Pun intended
really?
there. But I'm not feeling confident in my decision after seeing that Wardell Stephen Curry monster.
Oh,
Lord
my
have
goodness.
mercy. Some of the shots he was making, it was like I really thought I was listening to Bill Nye the Science Guy commentate the game, just talking about how like it wasn't even humanly possible and this was outside of the stratosphere that Steph was making some of these shots. I'm like, that's what Steph does.
It is.
Here's what I'm gonna say though. Why I still have the Rockets winning? It's like they outside of Sengun, they didn't get much offensive production from Jalen Green nor some of these other guys that I thought were gonna step up. So I don't expect I think game 2's tomorrow. I expect Jalen Green to be way more aggressive. And I think if Jalen Green can average at least 24, 25 points a game in this series, they'll still win. I still trust them defensively, and some of the shots that the Warriors are making, it's no different than when they beat us that night a couple weeks, like what was it, like a month ago? It's like they just couldn't miss. It's like the Warriors either gonna have their games where like everybody's hitting like they were in game 1, or they're gonna have nights where Steph has 12. So it varies. So it's still a long series. I am kind of nervous with my Rockets pick, but I still have them winning it all. Winning this series, excuse me. But to your point, I think you mentioned this last episode. It's definitely going 6 or 7 games, regardless of who wins. That's what I think.
Well, and I will agree with one thing you said. Jalen Green has to score 25. In order for them to win this series, he's got to score 30.
Yeah.
Because he's got to match Steph. He just does.
And Jimmy Butler. Because Jimmy Butler can
Butler.
get 25, 30 a night, too. Because
That's-
you remember we talked about this. Sengun is going to get his because they don't have an answer for him. And he showed that in game 1. But to your point, it's like he can't be the only guy give you 25 plus on offense.
No,
that can't happen.
No, not at all. At all. So I'm honestly, this one I'm going to say this is a toss up. I'm not even paid. I picked the Rockets before, but after seeing what Steph did, and the ball movement, what I have to now see is whether or not because they're a young team, whether or not the Rockets have that intestinal fortitude to fight through when Steph goes on that barrage,
Facts.
like
It's
he
just like
does.
the Pistons, like
Because
we were talking about. It's like they came
yes,
back in game two and responded, even with the lack of playoff experience. We have
yes,
yet to see that from the Rockets yet. You know.
that's right. They haven't been in this position yet,
Hmm.
so it'll be interesting to see how they respond. If
Definitely.
they don't respond, accordingly, then this may be a 5 game series.
I agree.
Series.
I agree.
So, all right. Well, we're gonna wrap up this week's episode with the usual moving the needle. Jameson, what's your moving the needle for this week?
Mine is the NFL draft this not upcoming, but this Thursday. I'm really intrigued. You know, I'm a huge Travis Hunter
Well,
fan.
that is upcoming.
Yeah, my fault. Yeah, upcoming on Thursday. But I'm just really intrigued to see, where Shador Sanders ends up, where Travis Hunter ends up going. If Roger Goodell actually says wide receiver slash cornerback when he calls Travis Hunter's name, there's a lot of things I'm looking forward to. I want to see who the Panthers end up picking. And also too, what's very intriguing to me is just like, and I'm shocked by this. We haven't had any big trades yet, leading up to the draft. Typically most years there's at least one or two big trades right before the draft, or like teams trying to move up and get a earlier pick or moving down. It's like we haven't seen really any of that so far. So it'll be interesting to see, heading into Thursday, what moves teams make, and then what trades are possible as well.
I agree. I'm interested to see where Omari and Hampton ends up. Like
And
he
Ashton Genty, I want to see where he
and
goes.
Genty. Yeah, because I'm sorry, man. Those two are, in my opinion, they could be. I won't use the word generational because sometimes that gets thrown around too much. But those guys could certainly be difference makers on whatever teams they end up playing for.
Fact, especially
Um,
depending on where they go, because it's like, could you
right.
imagine? I've heard rumors about the Bears are praying that like Ashton Genty's available. If the Bears can get Ashton Genty, Lord have mercy. Now having what's his name that came from the Lions, Ben Johnson. Oh my
Yes.
goodness, that
Yes.
brother is like you saw what Jameer Gibbs and them were able to do in that offense. Could you imagine Genty with Caleb Williams and all those young guns they had? My goodness,
But see, I could imagine because I'm telling you, man, Omari and Hampton he's that guy. He can
I
catch the
agree.
ball too. More better in my opinion, better. And yes, I'm a homer. I'm a Carolina homer. I just see Omari and Hampton being able to actually catch the ball out of the backfield better than Genty.
I completely
Um,
agree.
so that's why. I mean, to your point, they could have like a two-headed monster or whatever, but um, you would have that two-headed monster in one dude
Yeah,
with Hampton. That's the way I view it. So it'll be interesting to see where he ends up.
definitely.
Um, so my moving the needle for this week is about a big black baby, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, then Google it.
That
And
Shannon Sharp monster.
I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Moses Moody, Judge Judy, Shannon Sharp loves big booty. Lakers in 5.
Lakers in 5.
We getting that. Lakers in 5. Hey, that Shannon Sharp, that lawsuit monster. That lawsuit
uh,
monster.
Big Black Baby is ridiculous.
Hey,
That is incredible.
if you don't know what we talking about, just hit that Google search, type in that Shannon Sharp, or go to Chat GPT and type in.
No. Just type in Big Black Baby. That's all. That's all you need to type. Go to Google and type in Big Black Baby.
Oh,
And
last thing I'm gonna say too, another quick move in the needle, just a quick plug. If you ain't seen Sinners yet with Ryan Coogler and
by Ryan Coogler,
yeah, and that
Michael B.
Michael B.
Jordan.
Jordan monster, go check
Yes.
that out ASAP.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm planning to go see it later this week.
Yeah.
And I've only heard good things. The folks who were trying to, spin it, it didn't make 90 million, which was its budget. I was like, it was out for 2.5 days.
And it made
like
60
literally,
already.
and it made 60. Like who recoups literally everything that was put into a movie in 2.5 days?
No one does.
It's incredible, but we understand the agenda.
Yeah.
We know what the narrative is.
That was the best
Um,
movie I've seen in the last 5-6 years. No troll. Maybe even longer. Like, you know me, I love movies. That was probably the best movie experience I've had since I watched Avengers Endgame. No troll.
Okay.
Either that
Well,
or the first Spider-Man Miles Morales movie. That was probably it.
Right.
But it was top
Yeah.
tier.
Well, there you have it. ladies and gentlemen. Go support centers, Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan, and others. With that, we're going to wrap this week's episode. We appreciate everybody listening in. Same bat channel, same bat time next week. Take care.